Well, hello, everybody. My name is Pastor Jay. I am the student ministry pastor here at Fowlerville UB Church. And this is going to serve as our yearly parent informational meeting. And I know that you guys are just about as excited about doing meetings as I am. So this hopefully will be a good replacement for that. All you have to do is stick around, watch this video. It'll be a little bit longer than the ones we usually send out, but it sure beats sitting there for an hour-long parent information meeting. I know you guys probably already have enough of those, so this is kind of my gift to you. I'm going to go ahead and walk us through what our middle school and junior high program overview looks like, as well as how we're going to be doing our communications. What I want to do too is just encourage you, if you have a high schooler, this will look similar to what the high school video looks like, but it is a little bit different. So make sure that you watch that video or at least read that email as well. So let's jump into this and start off by discussing our different programs that we have available, different in-person programs, online programs, and different trips and retreats that we do. So first and foremost is the Pulse. Right? This is what my t-shirt says. You guys are probably already familiar with this. If you're not, Pulse meets on Wednesday nights from 6:30 to 8:30. It's an awesome time filled with lots of high energy games and worship, and we do have some snacks available at hangout time, and we do a message as well as some life group time. So really, this is the starting point for anybody who wants to get involved in our middle school ministry. So if you have a friend you want to invite them to the Pulse. It's a great place to start. We also have this new thing that we've been doing over the last several months called Student Connect. And this is our online ministry that is designed to focus in on one student in particular. Lately, we've been doing high schoolers, but I think we'll have the opportunity to get some junior high or middle schoolers involved in this too. But we take their testimony or their favorite verse and let them kind of break it down for us and talk to us about it for a little bit. And then we form this whole online episode around their theme that they bring up. So they're really cool. If you haven't gotten a chance to watch them yet, check them out. You're already on our YouTube channel right now, so go check out those videos that are probably just a few clicks away. And every episode gets released on Saturday nights, every other Saturday night at 7 p.m., and they get released on YouTube. I usually send out a text too that has the YouTube link in it. All right, so we have some summer stuff going on too. And our big summer trip that we go on is called CIY Mix. CIY stands for Christ in Youth. And this summer it's August 1st through 5th. And Mix is just something that is really, really, really cool. It is fun, engaging. It's kind of like a youth conference on steroids, right? It gets all these kids together and they have an awesome time. They do awesome games. They're usually at these massive venues with like hundreds of other kids there too. And they really are our big event that we do every year. And they're kind of pivotal. We build all of our momentum off of these events. And if your student misses one of those events, then it's kind of like they kind of have this like, well, why is everybody coming back all energized and excited? I don't feel like I don't belong here because I'm not in the same headspace as they are. Well, it's probably because they missed out on this awesome event. It's definitely something that we build momentum with and we bring back here every fall. So when we normally do this, we will be sending out the information for you to sign up for these events in September. And then usually the deadline is the end of September, and then we're registered with the camps ready to go at the beginning of October. So when we send out that information, go ahead and sign up and then mark it off on your calendar so that you can't have anything else going on during that week. Just make it a priority, just like you would with anything else. I mean, these trips are the kind of trips that you don't want your kids to miss. If I was a parent of a kid this age, this would be my top priority for my kid to make sure that they're going to Mix every single year and then move when they're in high school. So it's that important. It's really, really, really cool and really, really formational for their faith. We also have these Kingdom Worker Days that we're going to be putting more in place, and these are days where we can go out into the community and do some service. So they're not structured in a come to the church and then I'll tell you where to go. They are structured in a you are a kingdom worker. You are someone who has the ability to see issues in the world and to bring restoration into those areas. So this is your students' opportunity to get out there, see some things that need to get done, and do them. It could be picking up trash or doing whatever, and just sharing the love of Christ out in our community. All right, we've got our winter retreat at Camp Living Waters. Camp Living Waters has been a great host for us over the last several years, and we love taking kids down there for a winter retreat one weekend, usually January, February, sometime in there. It's a lot of fun. They usually have a speaker, and the worship team from Huntington University comes to lead worship for that weekend. So it's a great time, and we usually get a ton of kids on that trip. So I encourage you to sign up for that when it comes around next year. We also have this new thing that we're going to be doing called the 8th grade invite. And we don't have a date for it yet, but basically what it is we want our 8th graders to be able to get a little taste of what our high school ministry called Contrast looks like on Sunday nights. So every spring, we're going to be inviting our 8th grade students to come check out a night of Contrast. And like I said, we don't have a date for it exactly yet for this year, but it's coming up soon. So please stay tuned for more information about that. What we have going on in our high school ministry is really special, and we want our 8th graders to be able to check that out and see what it's all about, so that they can get excited about moving up to that next level when we promote them up to high school in the early summer. So that's going to be a really cool opportunity for them and for parents. Parents will also be invited to that, as well as their life group leaders. So that'll be really cool. All right, so let's talk about communications. We've got lots of different communications that we use in order to get information into your hands. We'll use texts or emails, social media, YouTube, lots of different things to do that. So I want to go through and make sure that we understand what the purposes are for each of these different forms of communication, so that we can communicate effectively with you and so that you know what's going on in the program. So first and foremost is text messages. Texting is kind of the world that we live in, right? Everybody has a phone, everybody has a smartphone, and we get text messages on our phones. It pops up right in front of our face. So this is the most effective form of communication that we have, is text messaging, and we use software to communicate to everyone through mass text messaging. You can go ahead and get that number from, so if we send out a text message from a specific number, that number, you can actually put that into your phone as whatever you want. You could call it, the Pulse or student ministry or middle school ministry or whatever you want in your phone, so that when it comes back up again, you can see who is contacting you. It doesn't have to be from that random number every time. You also have the option to reply stop to those text messages, S-T-O-P. I would strongly encourage you not to do that, because this is how we're getting information from us to you. It's our primary source of communication. So please do not put stop into that. And a lot of times what will happen is somebody will say stop, and then we'll send out some important information, and they'll say, well, I never got it. Now, that's because you replied stop to our text messaging, and that is how we were doing our communication. So please don't reply stop to these messages unless you absolutely have to. We also send out text messages whenever we have a registration for a trip or retreat. We create a group of text messaging for that trip and retreat. So whoever's going on the trip, all the parents will be put into a group using the phone numbers that you provide at registration. So please make sure that when you're providing these numbers, that these are parent phone numbers, so that we can provide you with the updated information as we get closer to the trip, and then also travel information while we're actually on the trip. So make sure that those numbers are parent phone numbers and that they're accurate when you fill out your registrations for these trips. Let's see. We also have regular programming and announcements that we use text messaging for, so just keep your eyes open for that. I can't tell you how many times I will send out a text saying, there's no Pulse tonight, and then I'll get like 4 or 5 text messages, emails that say, hey, is there Pulse tonight? So if you are getting those text messages, again, not replying stop, then you should be kept in the loop whenever we send out communications. Emails are used less frequently, but we will be sending out an email similar to this one with a shorter video on the first Monday of each month, just to communicate what we have coming up in the month ahead. We also have trips and retreats that require us to get pertinent information into your hands, like an itinerary for the trip or a packing list, that kind of thing. Things that are too long to send out in a text message get sent out as emails. And again, make sure that you're using an email that gets checked frequently, a parent email that gets checked frequently leading up to these trips, so that you get all that information. Again, I can't tell you how many times somebody signs up for a trip and then we send out reminder after reminder after reminder, and they say, well, I never got that email. It's like, oh, well, because you put in some email that you never check. So make sure that you're using an email that gets checked frequently and that it's not a student email, because students never check their email. So make sure that it's a parent email that gets checked frequently, so that we can get you that information that's really important for these trips that we'll be going on. I also want to say, when it comes to social media, we have quite a few platforms that we use, but I want to say that we are not forcing you as parents to get these social media platforms up and running for your kids. All right, these are supplementary for them to do. All of the information that you need, you'll receive over text or email. So you don't need to have social media, but it is a useful tool for us so that we can get information out as broadly as possible. So I'll walk you through what it is that we use our different platforms for. But please don't hear me say like, oh, they have an Instagram account, so that means that Johnny has to get an Instagram now. He's been bugging me forever. That's not what I mean. I don't want to force any parent into that situation, and it's not entirely necessary for them to have Instagram just for this promotional information. So here, let me walk you through what we use social media for and what that looks like. Facebook is primarily used for you as the parent. So we use Facebook to communicate announcements and different things like that to parents, because kids don't seem to be as on Facebook as much. So we use Facebook to send out information to parents. And so here's one bit of information. This is really important for junior high. We've created a new Facebook page just for junior high. And you can see that link right there. It's also in the link, and I'll put it in the comments below this video. Go to that link and like that page. Right now, nobody has liked that page yet. It is brand new. And we've just started that just for our junior high ministry. So our old page is getting converted to our high school page. And if you are a junior high parent, you need to go and like that page so that you can stay up to date on all of the information that's going on in the Pulse. I believe it's called the Pulse Student Ministry, and you can see the link there, and you can also click on it in the comments below. But that is primarily used for parent communication, supplementary to the texts and the emails. Instagram, on the other hand, is used for student communication. I know a lot of parents have Instagram too, so that's great if you want to kind of follow us along there as well. But this is where we promote things to students, that we try to get excitement levels up and do different things to get students excited about what we have going on. So the Pulse Student Min is the name of our Instagram handle for junior high ministry, so you can go ahead and follow us there. Again, you can do that just by searching the Pulse_Student Min in Instagram, and check us out there. And then YouTube. So YouTube is primarily where we upload all of our Student Connect episodes. That's our main use for student ministry. But we also have this new thing coming up called P60, or Parent in 60 Seconds. Where we're going to be sending out YouTube videos to parents as you're waiting for your student to come out of the Pulse on Wednesday night. And those 60-second videos are going to be they're going to be filled with content about what your student talked about, or what we taught your student that night. So you can continue that conversation in the car as soon as they jump in. There's no more, so what did you talk about tonight? Did you have fun? All of those awkward middle school conversations. You'll know exactly what we talked about, and you can start asking them pointed questions immediately and continue the conversation on the ride home or even at home. So that's what that is designed for. And those videos, again, once we get that up and running, they're going to be sent out right before you pick your student up. So like in the last half hour or so, right around 8 o'clock, 8:15. So while you're waiting in the car, you get that text message, click on the video, 60 seconds long. Learn what your kid talked about in that particular session, and then continue that conversation on at home. So that is pretty much all I have for you today. I know it's a lot of information, but it was really important for me to be able to get all of that out on the table so everybody knows what we have going on. Of course, there's lots of other things that we're going to be introducing and implementing throughout the year. I think we have a Nerf Wars thing that we're going to be doing pretty soon. And so there's things that are going to be happening. And again, those will be sent out through those main streams of communication that we talked about. But we want to make sure that you guys have at least a starting point of everything that we have going on. Obviously, you see we've got a lot of really cool things happening, and we're excited to see that your students are involved in those things, and that we're going to have a bright future in this ministry. I think that a lot of really great things are happening in the Pulse on Wednesday nights. High school students are getting connected and having a lot of fun with these middle school students along with other adults. And we're just starting to see the fruit of this. And I'm excited to be in this journey with you and to be your student ministry pastor. So we'll see you guys Wednesday night at the Pulse.